Well, if you want to stay rich forever, all you have to do is become a right winger and fleece the right wing base for whatever. Like, no matter what Trump does, all he has to do is beg his base for money and they'll fork over everything they have. It's pretty hilarious, to be honest.
New numbers giving the twice impeached, quadruple indicted, one-term disgraced ex-president a reality check on his frequent claim that his numbers go up with each new indictment. According to a new poll from Politico, about half of Americans think the former president is guilty, and most think he should stand trial before next year's election. But that isn't stopping the grift. The former president raking in $7.1 million in a record-breaking fundraising haul after his latest arrest and booking in Fulton County, Georgia, just 3 days ago.
You'd think if Trump was the richest person in the world, like he claims, he wouldn't need to beg his base for so much money all the time.
According to people familiar, Trump raised over $4 million on Friday alone. Joining me now, Stuart Stevens, senior advisor at the Lincoln Project and the author of the new book that's coming out this fall, Conspiracy to End America: 5 Ways My Old Party is Driving Our Democracy to Autocracy. And Danielle Moody joins me here on set, host.
If it's taken you this long to realize that the right wing wants nothing but a dictatorship or an autocracy or whatever, you've been pretty blind for quite a long time.
Of Woke AF Daily, the co-host of Democracy-ish podcast and the Daily Beast's New Abnormal podcast. Both of you overachievers joining me this morning. Stuart, I'm going to start with you. Okay, those numbers are absurd, right? Donald Trump making over $7 million merchandising his mugshot. So, Stuart, what does this say to you about his staying power? I mean, those poll numbers aren't great, but the dollar doesn't lie.
Though it's funny how the right wing claims to be about the party of law and order and want Biden to be charged for his crimes while being presented with crimes by Donald Trump, and all they do is give him more money. It just shows how much of a liar the right wing party is.
Yeah, look, I think there's a reality here that we have to accept that Donald Trump is more than any other candidate running for the nomination what the Republican Party wants to be. And what is at the core of that? The core of that is a sense of grievance, of anger, that there is some victimhood to being born an American. It's a very pessimistic future, that there's a conspiracy out there to get us. And what greater proof of that conspiracy and that.
Well, right wingers do love to be paranoid. They're always about how big government is out to get them, all the while supporting big government. They're they're so deluded and insane that they don't even know what they're actually for.
Here, you know, all these law enforcement agencies across the country are indicting our guys, not because he did anything wrong, it's because they're out to get us. It's a complete consistency to it if you get inside their heads.
Though it's understandable as to why these people are so religious. Christianity is all about paranoia, and these people are paranoid, so they mesh well with religion.
Our attack on the rule of law, attack on the justice system, from the FBI to local prosecutors to the Justice Department. So in a strange, crazy world for them, this just plays out as it should, and they have to fight it.
Danielle, look, something that disturbed me a lot when all those mugshots came rolling in, because I was in Fulton County, and each time somebody surrendered, we would then post the mugshots that came out from Fulton County Sheriff's Office. A lot of them are smiling. Mm-hmm. And it's not funny. These are felony charges. You can go to prison for years in Georgia, which does not have a nice prison system, let's be honest. So what is it that...
Yeah, I love that Trump and others will be subjected to the shitty justice system or prison systems that we have. Hopefully they are forced to eat some bad food. This is what, like, January 6th people are constantly complaining about, like, how bad the prison systems are. Before they went to jail, they were all fine with how the prison system was because the people they hated were going to jail. But now that they're in jail, they want a prison reform.
Trump's allies, his co-defendants, especially in this Fulton County case, think it's funny and it's okay to smile during a mugshot.
There's something very sinister about the Republican Party as a whole. They're based in this idea of cruelty. And so when you see these mugshots, what I see are comic book villains, right, that are proud. They're not ashamed. Usually when people get mugshots taken, they're embarrassed.
Mortified.
They're mortified.
Yeah.
This is the worst day of their lives. But
Yeah, like this chick right here, she is so happy to be arrested. Oh, she won't be happy when she's convicted. Who is another person that was found? Like this dude right here? Yeah, he won't be happy once he's convicted. Same with Jenna Ellis. You definitely won't be happy. And Donald Trump is definitely not happy whatsoever.
for the Republican Party, they're turning this into being a badge of honor, that you can disrupt our democracy, you can attempt to overthrow our government, and all will be well, because they don't think that they're going to have consequences. They are seeing this as an opportunity to raise more money, which
Well, right-wingers are used to being in a system where they could do whatever they want and get away with it. And for the longest time, yeah, the right wing have been able to terrorize and murder and rape POCs and women and whoever they wanted to and get away with it. And now that it's becoming harder and harder for them to get away with it, they want to make the United States a dictatorship so that they can continue with their terrorism.
Donald Trump is doing to put their grievances on the map. Look at us, we're being persecuted. Meanwhile, they want to have conversations about a laptop. They want to talk about lock her up. Well, they had 4 years to lock up Hillary Clinton, and guess what? There was nothing, because you know what? She's not a criminal. There was no indictments. Why? Because she's not a criminal. But you have 91 charges against this president, 91 charges, and he's raising money. Why does he continue to go after the presidency? Because it's a grift, and it's his get out of jail free card. So these people, they see this as a badge of honor, but they're the party of law and order. It's ridiculous. It's hypocrisy, and it's gross, frankly, and they should be called out on it repeatedly.
It's like them complaining about how there is a two-tiered justice system. A two-tiered justice system that they created and benefited from when black people and other POCs were punished harsher than white people. They enjoyed that, but now that white people of the right wing are being punished by the cops, they want to defund the police and the FBI and stuff.
You know, Stuart, I want to stay on that fundraising, because it is a jaw-dropping amount of money for somebody to raise when they've been indicted 4 times and now they have a mugshot, and they being Donald Trump, the first in our history United States president to actually have a mugshot. You know, Stuart, I want to focus on this grift, because these people that are giving the money, it's not like these are the big dollar donors, right, Stuart? These are not the people that are like, let me cut you a check for $1 million. These are people that, you know, are giving small dollar donations that are totaling to a huge amount of money. So what does it say that they're blindly following Donald Trump down this primrose path to just disaster?
Yeah, first, let me show Danielle just showed why I love reading her so much in the Daily Beast. She just nails this stuff. From the very beginning, the Trump campaign was a large criminal enterprise. I mean, we forget his campaign manager, his deputy campaign manager, his national security advisor, his foreign policy advisor, his chief political advisor. They are all felons now. They were involved in the first convictions that went to Donald Trump. And if you worked in politics and you looked at it, and you looked at how it was set up and who was running it, these weird people that he brought in who they didn't wake up one day and decide they wanted to be involved in politics because of Donald Trump. These are people who've been trying to get involved in presidential campaigns. I mean, I worked in 5 of them, Republican side, and no one would let them in. Donald Trump let them in. And they took over the Republican National Committee and really turned it into a money laundering operation for the Trump family. And it just became this large criminal enterprise. And eventually, most large criminal enterprises fall apart because of infighting. Somebody feels like they're not getting enough. They rat each other out, as Donald Trump uses this mobster language. And that's what's unfolding now. But still, on stage in that debate, all but 2, I think, of the Republican candidates said that they would support this guy who is a criminal if he wins a nomination for their party. And I can't think of any more sort of self-indicting, I have no moral convictions, I am just running for power, than saying something like that.
Yeah, Stuart, it was Chris Christie and Asa Hutchinson who actually had the
Both former
gumption.
clients of mine.
Yeah. Both of them who actually had the gumption to not raise their hands, shockingly. Danielle, I don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask you this. Vivek Ramaswamy, he calls Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley and author Ibram Kendi, quote, modern grand wizards of the modern KKK. Okay. Putting aside going after, people of color, right? But what does it say that his numbers went up after that debate? What does it say his numbers goes up after he says this? He's taking on the mantle, trying to say I'm a kind of younger Donald Trump here. What does it say about the fact that his numbers go up after saying stuff like this?
That this party is steeped in white supremacy, and you don't have to be white in order to have allegiance to white supremacy.
Well, no, yeah, you can be a POC and still support white supremacy. It doesn't mean once they get power, you're going to get too far, but once they're trying to gain power, you will get some notoriety for it. But it's just like the groups of Jewish people who sided with the Nazis during World War II. Yeah, they had some protections, but after the Nazis found that, once the Nazis were done with those Jewish people, they killed them. That's what would happen to the POCs that are part of the right wing. Once the right wing has the power that they want, those people would be dealt with.
That is Vivek Ramaswamy. And we have to understand that reality. So we can't just pretend that these people are not racist, that they don't want a country that is about white power. They do.
Stuart Stevens, Danielle.